So I have been building a RC trail, primarily for 10 scale stuff, but you could probably drive micros on it. And it's been actually pretty fun. I've been enjoying it because it's different than what I'm used to doing, just stacking rocks, you know. So I thought I would actually do a little video on what I'm doing and just kind of show how it's going. It might seem like super stupid or simple to some people, but when you're trying to come up with obstacles that don't look fake, it can be a little difficult. So yeah, let me get down to the beginning here, or at least what I'm calling the beginning, and I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, so I have this little creek or thing that runs through my property. It's not actually a creek, it's truly like water runoff from other people's homes, gutters and things like that. But it kind of acts like a creek and it runs all the way up through. So the start will be here. You drive your truck down this little ledge. You can see where I already started stacking rocks there to give it a smoother transition. Let me hop down here. And you can see it's not very, it's pretty steep. So you'll come down, you'll run up through the water, and then there's this first little pile of rocks, which I added a few too, okay? But, none of this is supposed to be difficult. It's just supposed to be fun. So you'll come up through that way, over to those rocks right there. I'm thinking about putting a little fake homeless encampment here, like a little fake fire or something like that. It'd be kind of cool. So I'm trying to have some friends over and just like do some trailing and crawling and stuff in general. Something for the kids, something for friends, But yeah, so you'll run up through here. You'll make your way up that way. So here's the other side of that bridge. You'll come up through these rocks, kind of down this way into another little water crossing. So I piled up some rocks there that kind of dam it up a little bit without making the water level too high here. And you'll run across these rocks up into that little path. All of this was cut in just with a weed whacker. Pretty simple. There was a lot of sticks and stuff there that I pulled out, and some vegetation that I just didn't want. But the idea with this is that if I just let it go, it will all grow back, and you'll never even know it was here other than some rocks that are stacked up. So I don't want something permanent. I want it to be semi-permanent. I want it to be easily modifiable. But yeah, pretty cool. It'll be fun just to put your truck through here, and I can continue to use the weed whacker to just kind of knock it down. And then you can see here on this, it's pretty wet because we had a bunch of rain, but it's like that downhill. So I plan on stacking some rocks and stuff through here just to make it a little difficult. Maybe some log sections and stuff you have to climb over. Nothing absurd and nothing too hokey. I will end up having a bridge here, but I don't want it to be this like overtly bridge-centered trail. I want it to be as close to what would it be like if you were driving for real, right? So you come up through here, and then you make a turn uphill, and you'll pop up over. You can see here where I've been just weed whacking it down to the roots. So you run along the weeds, and then down this another steep crossing. This is actually a deer crossing that the deer had trampled in. I'm just going to utilize it. You guys didn't get to see it, but I almost just fell. That was pretty cool. So yeah, you'll come down here, super steep, put some rocks down there just to catch you. You'll come up this little embankment, you'll turn and run along here. It's kind of uneven surface, some holes and stuff from animals. Run along, and then you'll drop down here, another weird little side hill. And what I did here is I just kind of dug in a couple little ledges and started packing in rocks. If you have 15 trucks drive over this, it's going to change the terrain and the surface, and that's cool. You'll run down and you'll kind of cut along there because it's so close to the water. Obviously this all stays pretty wet, so could be muddy, it could be not, depending on when you drive. But yeah, that's what it's about. This isn't really for like crawlers. It's more for like trail trucks. A truck that can do a lot of good, a lot of things well. Nothing perfect. So here's that little hill again, and I'm thinking when it comes time to have people over, I might like put some little markers in the ground, not gates, but kind of just like directors. So you run back this way, and you kind of got two options. You can follow the path where my finger goes, or you can cut uphill onto these rocks, which are loose, but that could be fun. Either way, you got to cut back and try to run up this hill. Now, this hill is really small, loose stuff, and maybe the first guy gets up fine, but everybody after him will have a more and more difficult time. And to keep people from trying to drive up this way or maybe over here, I'm gonna put fake fencing in, something like a boundary to keep people from driving up there. But if you can get one truck up, then you can use that truck as an anchor for the rest and winch them up or pull them up either which way. So you make it up the hill, you're gonna run over this way, across this bridge that's slowly falling apart under my feet, under this tree that fell down. I dug it out so you can get a taller truck through there. Truly, if you can't get a truck through, you can just go around. But originally I was gonna build something over these logs, but with having some young kids driving trucks, I was like, I'm not interested in somebody falling into there. So we're gonna go this way, down and around. And like I said, you can come this way if you wanted to. And then on this side, there's a big tree root, which will be slick. So you have to climb kind of uphill over the root. And then you'll go down here. So I kind of cut this in. There's some logs, some loose rock. It'll pack it in there, just be something a little interesting. Once again, you run down towards the edge of the water. Let me try not to ruin all this. So you run towards the edge of the water down here, and these are some rocks that were already in place. So you run there, and then you have this pretty steep climb out. So I put some rocks along here as like a border, and then I actually sunk some in there to either have you grab onto or to be difficult to get up. Actually, it looks like there's already been an animal. That's cool. So yeah, you'll climb up this hill, and you come over here, and then there's this little cut in that I put to kind of direct you. I haven't really finished it, but I'm gonna put some more rocks in, and then you'll go over top of these down trees. I cut this down, and it kind of fell there, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. So I'm gonna put some more rock and some filler dirt in there, and you'll have to get over top of the rock, over top of the trees. I plan on putting a small barricade there to keep you from going that way, like a trail closed sign. And you'll run along, and you'll come in here to between these trees, and we have this crazy root structure. So if your truck can climb up the roots or up those roots, cool. Otherwise, you can actually hit it and sneak up and around that little way there. Okay. I might put a barricade here too, because I don't want people going that way. So you get up here, there'll be some stuff right here to block this off, because it's going to act like an S. So you'll go up, boom, and snake back. And then we'll head this way. So you come out from there, and then you get into this section where it's a lot of roots, some trees that fell down, so it's got some holes, some rocks that are in here. I'm going to clean it up and probably take some of this dirt out to just expose more of that. So you'll come down there. That'll be a cool little climb down. Once again, probably put some flags in the ground or something to keep people heading that way. And then I kind of just weed whacked this, which I was going to leave it that way. And then I decided, well, what if I were to, for the sake of realism, drop a tree there or a log that blocked it off, so like it's trail closed, right? So then I started playing in the creek some more. I'm gonna weed whack right here, but you'll drop down in there, and you'll go all the way up through there. When you get to the other side, I stack some rocks that you can climb out right up there, up this hill. So once again, you'll be in the dirt or in the water, I mean, but it's nothing that's gonna, like, you know, totally tank a truck. So you'll climb up out of there, and I'm assuming as trucks progress out of the water and this gets muddier and muddier, it'll be pretty chaotic. And you'll climb up out like this. So that trail comes out, wraps around the trees, once again, just weed whacked. And it brings us over to here. So I'm still playing this by ear, but I'm thinking about taking some really long 2x4s that I have and building a bridge that goes all the way across there. It'll probably be 20 feet or so. Just be fun. Like, I know I'm not like a bridge guy, but that could be like a fun little bridge, big bridge, I should say. The thing I'm thinking is, do I build two trails? Do I build the easy trail, which is the bridge, and then do I build a down and up out of all that? You know, do I scoot the bridge to one side and then you have a way to get up and down through the water and through the rocks? Once again, not a problem. The bridge will be temporary, so I can take that out, and then everything else, you know, the vegetation can regrow through everything I've knocked down. So that's kind of an option I'm considering. So this is the other side. The bridge would cross over, and I'm thinking the bridge would come over and almost like hit the wall, and you still have to climb up out of it some. So the bridge would come over, and then it would kind of snake up that way. And that part of the trail is kind of still in the works, or the ideas, because it's not as natural as the first half of the trail. A lot of it's just like cut through tall grass. But I think looking at it from this side, it would be pretty cool to bring that bridge over. I mean, I can even bring the bridge from here to like that side of the tree, and then bring the trucks down here and back up the other side, almost like an X, like the two paths would cross like an X. That could be really neat. I may consider that. What's cool is that this little creek has so many exposed rocks that are just sitting there. You can just stack them, throw them, and it still looks super natural. I may consider that and just cut some of these limbs back. I'm trying to keep it so that people aren't walking on the trail, like next to it or around it, without walking on it. That's the goal, which with young kids may be easier said than done. So the whole idea is just to have a little trail that's literally at my house. Something fun for me and the boy and my daughter. Have some friends over, cook out, just play around. My nephew has a truck, my brothers have trucks. So coming back over here, I'll show you kind of what happens when you cross the driveway, because the driveway is just going to be what it's going to be. So you got this stone pile that comes up around this giant dead tree. So that'll wrap around. You cross over this. This is normally drainage. So depending if we had rain, it'll be wet, otherwise it won't. You come up here through this tall grass. There's a little dip here that is natural, and then I actually took the tiller and tilled a deeper little divot in. So as far as tools, using like regular garden tools that you might have is key. Shovels, obviously, the tiller, and it'll actually bust up and show you some rocks that might be in there, and you can utilize them, right? So that kind of comes through here into another little natural hole that I dug into to expose some rock. I'm going to put some more in there just to make it a little more technical. You have to go that way, and then it kind of, you see the trail kind of snakes back toward the fence. So this is where the trail kind of gets a little lame, because I need some ideas. So just snake along here. There's another little hole right there, and it just kind of runs up through the tall grass. This all needs weed whacked again. And follow it up. I have this little gravel pile, crushed stone pile. You pop up over that, down back in to the safari, and just kind of follow it up. And I think I'm going to put some rocks here, and I have some homemade rocks I did out of concrete. You come up through, and then I started cutting in here, just some little grooves, which is fine because this is actually a bunch of drainage anyway. It comes off that hill, so it's not terrible. I don't really mow over here, so it's not going to affect anything as far as that goes. But yeah, just come up. I think I'm going to do a couple more of these little pits, put some rocks in or around them. You know, just one little obstacle, one little feature after another. And then we drive up through all this. So I mowed into here just to give myself some ideas. I may snake it through the trees, come up like that. And it's going to wrap around into like some existing stuff that I've already done. So the idea would be to come through here, either go that way or wrap around. Either way, you would go through there and wrap around to these other rocks that I've already put in place. So, built this thing out of concrete, threw some rocks in the middle. We call it the dinosaur nest. So, come through the dinosaur nest, we got some dirt, we got this little climb. I need to do stuff to it to make it look more legit, because it's just looked so ghetto. You got a pit with some rocks you got to climb out of. I made that out of concrete. It's doing okay. Made that out of concrete. It's doing okay. A bridge. I know I've said it like 3 times. I'm not a bridge guy, but kids like bridges. So you run over the bridge. It's tall enough you go under the bridge. You got to cut all this vegetation back. I'm thinking right here about taking it and moving all of that and building a channel where it has walls that are log, and then obstacles all through there. Like, you can't get out of it. You gotta go through it. There's no bypass. It wouldn't be hard, but it would just direct you. So you go that way, up and around. You got a big rock climb here. This needs something done. Maybe just some potholes. You got a little climb here. you know, underneath the down trees. Little fake rock I made, rock pile over the roots this way. You can get out there, or you can continue over the tree or around the tree. More rocks. I'm just using these things as like markers, right? Direct to flow. And then I got this little lion's back thing. You pop up over, you land on the tree using as much of the natural curvature. You can climb down the roots, up over this. This was a groundhog hole that I then dug out more. So you pop down in there, up back out of there. And then you can go here where you can take it around this weird looking S tree. You can go this way, you can go that way. This all needs cleaned up. You got some more rocks, more rocks, more rocks. And that right there is the exit, which brings you out to just my massive rock piles. So that's the idea. I'm gonna get to work on it and kind of video what I've done and what I'm doing, so people can kind of get some ideas for techniques if they want to create their own little trail. So that whole trail end to end will be just under 2/10 of a mile. So it's not a long walk. It's not difficult. It's not treacherous. It's just fun and kind of natural and just using what we got. Anytime I search YouTube for like trail building ideas, number one, STX-24s come up, and it's always fake foam, you know, bridges, lots of bridges. And that's not really my thing. I want it to be real. I want it to be realistic without being absurd. Like I do full-size wheeling, and you're not driving over trees the size of your truck very often. So that's not really realistic. You're not even driving under trees that often. But use what you got. And this is what I got. So make something out of it. Should be pretty fun. Maybe a little different, maybe a little bit of the same. So yeah. All right, so I just went ahead and weed whacked this here, this area. So it brings you down. Let me see if I can back it up. Brings you down onto this little rock base that I put here. And as you head this way, you're kind of met with this little climb, but also I didn't put any rocks in here. So, you know, you got 3 inches of water you have to climb out of. And depending on how much water we had prior to this, it could be higher, it could be lower. I may even put some more rocks there. Put some stuff here maybe just to direct people that way. So you get over that. And if you come this side, it's obviously going to be deeper. You go that side, there's a little more rock base, and the rain will wash this all away, but you'll have that climb. I may put some more rocks there, but you have that climb to get out. And probably the first person will do okay, and then the rock will get slicker and slicker and slicker and muddier and be more difficult for other people. You'll go there, and then you'll do that hard left up the hill. So still need to come up with a log to put across the trail. And I kind of want to make it so if somebody wanted to cross that log, they could, but it's a little more discouraging also. Let me walk you down here to this other part I just messed with. So this, look at all this. This is stuff you can really, it's like gold for trail building in my opinion. So you got all these natural exposed roots. Here, you got holes where trees used to be, or maybe an animal's burrowed in. You got some rocks that were naturally here, but it's just a really cool little section to drop down through. And I think I'm going to bring out to get rid of more dirt to make it even more interesting. I do think what I'd like to do is maybe put a rock or two here just to keep people from going that way. And then this part here, maybe position a couple there as well. You see we got just stuff just like shoved in the grass. So that could be really, really cool. And as it rains, this will continue to kind of wash out and just make itself more interesting every time. So looking for natural instances where you can capitalize on the roots, the rocks, etc., and just kind of direct the trail naturally. All right, so here's the path that comes along the top where the bridge could be across the creek, across the water. So I'm thinking it'll go from about that spot at an angle over to here, between that tree and this other vegetation. It'd be kind of cool that it would like disappear into vegetation. Pretty neat. And then I weed whacked this section down to this giant rock. And then I weed whacked over here, up, and then over this. So this concrete was poured for this That's my driveway. This concrete was poured to come through here a long time ago. So now you'll come up around that little tree this way and up and out. And then, you know, the bridge will end there and you can just kind of run along the top. So now comes the fun stuff. Number one, I don't really plan on changing anything about this. I don't want to deal with it. I think it's rough enough that it'll be fun to drive on. The only thing I'm considering is, do I take some rocks and kind of like dam it up right there? If I do that and we get water, obviously the water level will raise ever so slightly because the dam's not watertight, it's just some rock stacks. But it would make this whole thing a little more impassable and a little deeper, obviously. The downside to that is if I do that, all of this leaf and stuff that I just weed whacked down, it'll jam up there, and it kind of looks like crap. So I might wait till we get a couple rains and then do a rock stack there once this stuff's kind of been washed away. But here I need to position some rocks in the dirt to climb out of. Maybe some at the base. I don't really know how difficult I want to make it. If I don't put some stuff in there, this could be one of the more difficult parts of the whole course or the whole trail. Coming down, I think I should have some like steps, like, you know, drop off, ledge, drop off into here. So I can leave all that stuff. That's cool. But I may do something here and maybe add some more there. So pretty neat, pretty exciting. And I like that this, you know, it's kind of a fluid addition to things. Yeah, see how things go. All right, so I just put in this, and this. And the idea, you know, is that it looks like there's rocks that were there and the dirt's washed away and it's exposed them, or maybe people driving through has exposed them. But now we got ourselves a little drop-off diff hanger, okay? Into this guy, we got a little double deal there. Got another rock I'm gonna use maybe at the top or maybe down here, but either way, if you come down it, it'll be an obstacle of some kind. And if you try to go back up it, it's going to be very difficult. So all I did with this was that one sits flush, but these three, I dug in with a little shovel and I just dug in a ledge, pulled out the dirt, threw the rock in, pushed in as hard as I could, packed dirt around it. You can see it's a very like clay-based dirt. So over time, that'll wear in and I'll end up weed whacking again and cutting in. And, you know, if a rock comes dislodged and falls down, so be it. Just like real running. So yeah, I may put some like right here. It'd be cool to put a big whopper right there. So that way, oh, look at that. Hello, friend. But put a big whopper there. That way it kind of forces them to run this direction. And also keep you from like nosing down into the water. So yeah, real simple, real neat. Took me 5, 6, 7 minutes to do. So it doesn't have to take a long time. And, you know, you can just use your hand or your foot and just like smush the dirt in. And it's pretty easy. All right, so we have this coming down. I put these couple rocks here, kind of direct you. I mean, you can go over them, but they kind of direct you down this way. I put a couple rocks in here just to make it a little more difficult, but you'll come across however you want, and you can climb that way, this way, depending on your rig. Thing is like that dirt's very loose. I put a bunch of flat rocks there. You know, they may be slick, but they won't be hard to climb. So you'll have some dirt to get up, you have some rocks to grab onto. I'm hoping by the time you get up to there, you can just kind of gas it up out of there. We'll see how things progress, if I want to add some more in there or not. I didn't want to put too large of a rock, like a fat one there, because then you'll have people flipping over, and that's not the goal. The goal isn't for people to wreck their stuff. It's just to have a little fun navigating their way through this. So yeah, I think that'll be it for now. I'm definitely gonna do other videos, update it, see how things progress, because this is only halfway up the trail. So I hope this was beneficial. Hopefully get some inspiration out of it. Honestly, filming the videos and coming up with ideas on the fly is pretty inspiring, because I get to kind of sort through things in my brain. But yeah, be on the lookout. If you got any ideas, cool realistic scale type ideas, let me know. Let me know what you think. I thought about the ideas like temporary little buildings and stuff, but it's a lot of work. It's way more work than stacking rocks. So yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Thank you.